I would like to introduce our Reverend Tress, who has been with us since before I came, long time. 1988, okay. A long time. Here, yeah, seems like it. Here to give us another inspiring message. Thank you. Welcome, Reverend Tress.
And I have a comment. You can all hear me, can you? All right. I'm not going to tell on anybody or anything because I don't tell on people. However, do you know that the sound man manning all the equipment was very honest with me? And he gave me some really good advice. He said, make sure that you don't have the mouthpiece too close to your mouth. And I said, what do you mean, like far away so you can't hear me? And he said, yeah, good idea. But you gotta love him because I'm gonna have it here because I've got a lot to say today. I want to talk about today. I want to talk about each day as a gift. And I know I've said that before, but I want this embraced. Today is today, and it is your gift to live your life authentically as who you are. So I'd like you to breathe, to inhale, to exhale. Feel that breath go in you. And realize that that is the breath of life, the power of who you are. And that you're alive right here, right now. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, not this afternoon, right now. This is your reality. And you are the one who calls the shots. So right now it's middle of December, and it's an interesting time of year. You see, today is the first day of Hanukkah, and it goes until the 22nd of December. And Kwanzaa, it starts on December 26th and goes to January 1st. So December, there are many celebrations, but it's also a time that we put pressure on ourselves. You know, maybe we need trying to meet the expectations of others. I've got to do this. I've got to do this. If I don't do this, well, then nobody will love us. I mean, aren't we all afraid that there's no love for us? And yet we do have the love of the divine in, as, and through us. But we all have that desire to be loved, to be accepted. And this brings back one of my memories. You see, Christmas was a little bit different at my house. The Christmas tree. There was always a discussion about the Christmas tree. And it wasn't a, oh, let's get the Christmas tree. It was, we got to get a Christmas tree for the kids. And I always wondered, well, I want to be like the other kids. I want to have a Christmas tree. And I want to have it early. And I want to have the light. And you know, I don't know how my mom and dad put up with all the whining and fussing. I probably did. But the thing is, there was a reason we did not have the Christmas tree. We did have it the day before Christmas. And Christmas Day, Boxing Day, is the day you take down the Christmas tree and you get it out of the house. First of all, it's messy. You know, that was part of it. But then I got learning and studying. And oh my goodness, it really spoke to my heart. And I understood why. You see, I was a little bit angry because it was my mom who really did not want the Christmas tree. We don't do this in Scotland. See, she came in 1944, brand new, didn't know anyone other than the man she married, the Canadian soldier. She came to Canada. And there's all this hullabaloo and carry on about Christmas, Christmas tree, yada yada. Like, she had to learn the culture. So I looked it up. 1523, Glasgow Cathedral. They ordered those who celebrated Yule to be excommunicated from the church. See, it was a distraction. Singing Christmas carols was a crime. You did not sing Christmas carols. 1640, the Act of Parliament of Scotland made the celebration of Yule illegal. The church continued to frown on any festive celebrations. And the punishments were really harsh, like excommunication. And it's a small world. You don't want to be excommunicated from your church. And there was no public holiday. Like we think, oh, we're entitled to Christmas Day. No, it was not recognized. You did not get a Christmas Day. It's just a day. But that meant that the Scots became focused on New Year's, new beginnings. And New Year's Eve is Hogmanay. And then the 2 days that followed, so there was a 3-day celebration. And Mom would say, you know, we don't have all this at Christmas. We always celebrated New Year's. Well, now I know. So am I mad? No, not anymore. I understand. And actually, it was not until 1958, after I was born, but I won't tell you the year, after I was born, that Christmas Day was actually recognized and allowed to be a holiday. So there. I wanted to be like all the other kids. And yet, I didn't have that. But then I saw a whole new big window. Because you see, in the early 1950s, a lot of people emigrated to Canada after the Second World War. And our little area that was just starting to grow, people came from Poland. And I remember these kids, and I heard from my mom and dad, like I would say, well, how come they don't have a mom? Where's their mom? Well, then I heard about their mom was here. She came. She loved them, but she caught polio. She died. So it's the dad and the uncle, all from Poland, learning to speak English. And then there were some other people around that were Polish. So they sort of were together. But I remember my brother coming home from school and saying that the two kids that he played with that were his age, he said, Mom, they don't have any food in the house. She'd say, well, invite them over. So she would be giving the gift of the food, the gift of an open house. She did that with many people. So you see, her giving, her gifts, she didn't have Christmas on Christmas Day, oh, I'll give all the gifts, like there were gifts. But the gift from the heart, the real true giving of the Christmas spirit, she did it all year long. And so once I realized that, I thought, oh my goodness, I wish I could take back the time, but I can't. But we all have our own way of celebrating. And we all bring our own things to the table around any celebration. So you see, the love and giving of Christmas, we can all give that love and giving all year long of our gifts. What are our gifts? Because you see, it takes a team and a community to keep things going. And I want to talk a little bit about community right now. I'm talking about family, my family. Because I'm watching the flooding in Abbotsford, and I have family there. And I have the one cousin I talk to Facebook now, and I'm seeing he's showing all these pictures, floods, the highway flooded. And he's saying, people are saying, are you okay? Yes, this is right by where I live, but I live up higher on the mountain, and where I can get to, I'm safe. And so his mom is safe, everybody's safe. But see, it's a community getting together at a time of need. So isn't that wonderful to be connected that way? The times of courage and of fear. And I know I talk about community, and I'm talking about family. So I have another family member who's coming all the way, my niece, all the way from Oklahoma, up to see her family in central Alberta, her other side of the family. So that is a wonderful thing. But the story doesn't end. You see, her father, who's still now in Oklahoma, well, he went to school. He went to school in Surrey, BC, before he moved there. And guess who was one of his classmates? My cousin, who is the cousin who is safe from the flood in Abbotsford. Now, it's a small world. We're all connected. And this shows how such simple little things, and here we are all connected. So we may think what we do doesn't really affect anybody. And yet people know people who know people who know people who know people, and we're all one community. We all have our home base, and one of my home bases is a place that Gord knows quite well, in fact, where we actually met. And at that place, well, they were going to have a dance, and they were going to have John Fogerty and John Cougar Mellencamp, not the real guys, but someone who sang like them. So I thought, okay, I'll ask my kids, my son, and by the way, her parents, they might like to go because they sold their place down south because, well, it's a little happier up here right now. So they came up here, and this is their first Christmas here for a long time. So this is good, but you know, you need 8 to have a table reserved. And I thought, wow, I'm going to make darn sure I get a table reserved. So then I thought, well, okay, who can I invite? Well, then there's these two ladies I know through the shuffleboard. And the two ladies are having Christmas alone without their partner for the very first time. So they joined us. So I had my table of 8, right? We're having a good time. And here comes my daughter-in-law and her family. They sit down and they say, I know you. And one of the ladies from the shuffleboard, yeah. And they talk back and forth. They've known the same people for years, and they have a wonderful conversation. We're all connected. We're all one. That home base. So where is your home base? Think of where it is in Christmas, in your family, in your connections, those you haven't reached out to yet. You know, I was noticing something when I was getting ready for the meditation. And you know what I noticed? I noticed you can read the writing on the wall. I want everybody to stand up if you want to. Look at the writing behind me. Over there. Over there. Behind you at the bottom. Here I can see behind the Mr. Music Man, believe in miracles, courage, faith, rejoice, family, peace, everything. It's everything. Be grateful. Everything we talk about. The writings on the wall. Right around us. So do we notice what's going on around us? How can we you can sit down if you want. Unless you want to stand. But, yeah. And we are all the bearers of gifts that way. And we are all the recipients of gifts. So are we brave enough to accept the love of others, the gift of others, the sharing of others? And are we brave enough to take that step and give it to others? See, it's not always that easy, either way. But you know, we just need to ask and receive. Let's discover new ways to express our creativity and gifts. You know, how do we do it? Spiritual mind treatment. Ask. Recognize a higher power. That higher power is in me, as me, through me. And I know that I am one with that spirit. So we're not alone. And there's a song that I think of often, and some of you may know it, but I will just read the words. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Place in my hands that wonderful key, Spirit divine. The key is your word, your connection to the one mind, to the God essence, your belief, your acceptance. Your acceptance, it says right in Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. Feel that within you. Feel it, breathe it, know it, be still. Embody and know that the essence in you is a divine mind. So know and declare and be, because there's something within each of us that has the answer to every question we have inside. And those questions arise when we need to grow, to expand, to be, to know. So if this is the season to grow and expand, well, embrace it. If someone is driving you nuts, and really if they're driving me nuts or driving me nuts because I need to look at myself and say, okay, Tress, what's going on in your head? That this person is driving you right because it's their divine right to be who they are. And I'm the one having the little hoity-toity hissy fit over something. Well, I can change that. Change your thinking. Change your life one thought at a time, one step at a time. In Matthew it says 8:13, go your way. And as you have believed, so let it be done for you. The streets may not always be paved in gold in our mind, and yet we're the ones that plow our pathway. So we have all of the strength and the power of the universal mind to guide us through this Christmas season, however we may celebrate it. And I know that there's so many people are going out and having fun and doing things. In fact, I even know that one of the places that Mr. Music Man and I go to, they actually had an event. And it was a Christmas Santa Claus event. And there was this person who was so talented. And they made other people laugh by dancing around and sharing and clowning. And I never mention names to anybody, Donna, but and I never point at people, Donna, but she was one of the people, one that volunteered, that gave herself. We all can give ourselves to be and give a little glow of happiness in other people. And how about a little glow of happiness in ourselves? See, we need to trust that inner power. We need to let our hair down and be who we are. And if we don't have any hair to let down, well, just let it all hang out, baby. Just be who you are. Share who you are. Be proud of who you are. Because you're all you've got to go forward. But believe me, what you've got is way bigger and way stronger than you realize. You are a gift from the divine. So know it, declare it, and breathe it. I want everybody stand up. Well, you don't have to, but now just feel the power of who you are. Put your arms out and know how large and big and beautiful you are. And mentally give a big hug to all of the world. And know that the power of your love embraces all. And together we say, and so it is.